Persona 5 is a really, really good game. It's probably, for many people, the best game of the year. But not me. Oh no, I have things to say that aren't, it's the best game ever. What a no-no. This is a really difficult subject for me to tackle, since there isn't one aspect of 5 that breaks everything. It's more like a bunch of little things that collectively make the experience forgettable and unimaginative. And perhaps the most frustrating bit of all of this is that some parts of P5 are the best the series has ever been. Like, look at those aesthetics. They're amazing. This is what hyped me up so much after seeing the initial trailers. Because I knew that if all the other aspects of the game outside of this trailer were this great, then it would be like the best game ever. But it's not. Not at all. It's immensely disappointing. Sure, the visual design is still bootylicious, but what about that music, or the gameplay, or the scope? Let's just get into it. Music has always been, in my opinion, the best thing about Persona 3, 4, and 5. Seriously, shit like Iwatodai Dorm and Mass Destruction sell the aesthetic of P3 perfectly. Without Shoji Megudo's brilliant soundtrack, I'm really not sure the series would be where it is today. These songs suck you into the world of the game so well. And Persona 4 took this to a whole different level, but I'm going to make a separate video about that game tomorrow. So what's wrong with Persona 5's soundtrack? Nothing really. On its own, this is some seriously great music. The issue is that this music doesn't complement the events of the game as well as its predecessors. And they didn't always do a perfect job at it either. It's just that I expected more from a game 30 million years in the making that wants so badly to be the next evolution of the whole series. Perhaps my expectations were a bit much, but I honestly wanted the game to grow so far beyond 3 and 4 that we'd look back at those two in the same way that most people look at Persona 2. The technology was there, the money was probably, hopefully, there, the time investment was there, all of the talent was still there from 3 and 4. I wanted Persona 5 to go the extra mile and not just have some batshit insane final moments to rival the insanity of fighting the god of death at the end of 3, or learning that the final day of Persona 4 has an entire other missable dungeon that reveals the super duper ending of the game. I wanted Persona 5 to change things in ways that would make it drastically stand out from everything that came before. I mostly hope for a more challenging action RPG fighting system instead of a turn-based one, although I'm about 99% sure that'll never happen. But here's what probably happened when the creators sat down and really started to think about what Persona 5 could realistically do. If Persona 5 is going to make anywhere near the money Persona 4 made, then we can never change things that much. No more experimentation, we'll just put all the good stuff in SMT games from now on. And that is exactly what pissed me off so much about P5. Everyone involved wanted the game to be loved by so many people that most, if not all, of the interesting shit under the surface was cut out to appeal to the biggest demographic possible. It's all still there, it's just under the surface, just waiting to be dug out. This is why all of the game's best stuff is in the beginning, with cut corners showing their rough edges more and more as you make it to the later sections of the story. And all of this was already an ongoing issue with 3 and 4, and how they streamlined interesting/questionable gameplay decisions in comparison to the SMT games. Persona 5 promises to be this grand RPG with an expansive narrative that'll take the story to the furthest extremes imaginable, just like Persona 2 back in the day. But it doesn't come close to the raw emotion felt from those games. To me, and I apologize if this is a bit harsh, Persona 5 is a culmination of all of the least interesting aspects of Persona games. 4 months later after finishing it, I barely remember anything beyond, yeah, it was good, when thinking about Persona 5, while P3 and P4 regularly serve as inspiration for who I am today. Maybe for some people, 5 will be the only one that touched them in the same way that 4 and 3 affected me. Who knows? I just doubt I'll ever feel the need to replay the 120 hours I spent trying to understand when the game would fucking finally get good. Well, that's all I have to say for now on Persona 5. As promised, tomorrow we'll be tackling why I inversely love Persona 4 as much as I do. I hope you'll join me. Until then, feel free to bitch in the comments why Persona 5 is the greatest masterpiece of human civilization, or how it cured your AIDS, cancer, and appendicitis at the same time, or how it brought your dog back to life, who the fuck knows. Also remember to subscribe so you can help me reach my goal of 100 subs before the end of the month-long challenge series. That'd just be dandy. Also, give me money on Patreon, you cheap fucks. I can't wait for the 2 new dancing games, man. Holy fuck, dude. Now this is Persona. Fuck the RPG bullshit. Just give me that dancing Aegis.